Preparing for an emergency. Emergencies can happen at any time. That's why it's so important to be prepared. There are lots of things you could do in advance, so if an emergency does happen, you will be ready to cope. You can prepare for damage to your home, temporary evacuation or isolation by putting together an emergency grab bag with everything you need in it. This could hold important personal information and items which help in an emergency, such as prescription medicine details for the family, toiletries, identity documents, a first aid kit, a radio, either battery or wind-up, and a torch, also either battery or wind-up, spare batteries, a notebook, pen and pencil, spare glasses or contact lens, a mobile phone charger, contact list including phone numbers, insurance details, spare keys for your house and car, and anything else you think is important. Chocolate is always useful. The bag should be small enough for anyone to carry and should be kept in a safe place that everyone in your household can find. Think about situations such as a fire, flooding, power cuts or extreme weather. Talk about them, discuss and agree what you would do. It's best to write down your plan, but even having discussed it can make a huge difference to how you will cope, whether it's a minor incident or something worse. If there's a major incident, stay home and tune into your local radio. BBC Essex can be found at 103.5 and 95.3 on FM, and Heart FM can be found at 102.6 in the north and the middle of Essex, or 96.3 in the south of Essex. Go in, stay in and tune in. Your health and recovery after an emergency can be just as challenging. For more information about the Crisis Support Team in Essex, visit www.crisissupportessex.org. Also, there's lots more advice and information on the Rochford District Council's website at www.rochford.gov.uk/emergencies, and there's some more contacts that you might find useful here. www.essex-fire.gov.uk, www.essex.police.uk, www.direct.gov.uk, www.nhsdirect.nhs.uk, www.rspca.org.uk, and www.environment-agency.gov.uk. The flood helpline is on 0845 988 1188, and for non-emergencies you can contact Essex Police on 0300 333 4444.
Rochford District Council is warning residents to beware of bogus callers claiming to be from the council. Fraudsters are calling residents claiming that their council tax payments are in credit, then asking for their bank details so that money can be transferred back into their account. The council would not contact residents asking for their personal bank details. Residents are also advised to be on their guard for other attempts to get them to part with their personal details and, in some cases, their cash. As well as the telephone scams, tricksters will try anything from calling unannounced at the doorstep to stopping people in the street under the guise of representing legitimate organisations such as the council and utility companies. Whatever the approach, their objective is the same: to prize personal information, especially bank details, from unwary residents. The council, through the Community Safety Partnership, has also become aware of approaches to local residents by firms using questionable telesales tactics, in some cases making false claims that they're working with the council or Essex Police. Typically, they will tempt people with offers of free or cut-price products. then subject them to a high-pressure sales pitch aimed at selling them more expensive items. Residents who receive a cold call they believe to be questionable should terminate the conversation immediately. On no account divulge any personal information and report the call to Consumer Direct on 08454 040506. Take steps to tackle the phone fraudsters. If you receive a telephone call from someone saying they're from the council and asking for your bank details, don't divulge any personal details over the phone. Call the police on 0300 333 4444 and contact the council's community safety team on 01702 546 366.
Domestic abuse. Help, support and advice available. Domestic abuse can affect anyone at any time of their lives, regardless of gender, ethnicity, sexuality, social background and, increasingly, age. Research by the National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children, NSPCC, shows that violence in teenage relationships is becoming more common and that many teenagers take a surprisingly tolerant attitude to this violence. Equally, an increasing number of younger women, including young mums, find themselves through force of circumstances in unsuitable relationships and feel unable to break the cycle of abuse. Against this backdrop, the Castle Point and Rochford Domestic Abuse Panel, DAP, has launched a leaflet and poster drive specifically aimed at challenging these attitudes among younger people and to signpost the help available to younger victims of domestic abuse. The leaflets and posters have been designed with the help of sixth form pupils from local schools, with graphics that reflect the younger generation's passion for new ways of communicating and social networking. Domestic Abuse Reduction Officer for Rochford District Council and Chair of the DAP, Tracy Schneider, said, "Relationship abuse is about one partner wanting to dominate or manipulate the other. Evolving technologies like mobile phones and social networking sites are giving perpetrators greater opportunities to extend their control over victims. We wanted to show that we understood this, and through these posters and leaflets send a clear message to victims of abuse that they are not alone, help is available to them." The leaflets and posters have been distributed to housing associations, doctor surgeries and health centres, council offices and police stations, libraries and via schools. A new and discreet process for reporting domestic abuse online has been launched by Rochford District Council. An easy-to-follow questionnaire has been designed for use by victims of domestic abuse, anyone who has witnessed domestic abuse, or a third party reporting an incident on behalf of someone else. All the information provided is treated in complete confidence. As well as providing a means of reporting abuse, the questionnaire will also include details of where victims can find help. The form can be accessed via the Rochford Council website at www.rochford.gov.uk. Domestic Abuse Reduction Officer Tracy Schneider said, "The questionnaire will give us a better understanding of the extent of the problem locally, while providing those caught up in an abusive relationship with access to the information they need to find a way out. Additionally, a callback facility will be available to them if they feel they need to talk to somebody directly and confidentially. The questionnaire also provides others concerned that someone is being abused with the means to bring the issue to our attention in a discreet way, anonymously if they wish. Many a life has been saved by an interfering neighbour, friend or relative. Phone 07920 264610 or email tracy.schneider, SCHNEIDER, @rochford.gov.uk.
Rochford District Matters is edited by Patrick John and produced by Rochford District Council, who can be found at 3 to 19 South Street, Rochford, SS4 1BW. Their telephone number is 01702 546 366 and their website is at www.rochford.gov.uk. And that brings us to the end of this edition, which was recorded by volunteers from the Rayleigh, Rochford and Castle Point Talking newspapers for the blind at their studio in Rochford.